Hello, and welcome to ClearPropTV. In this edit, we focus on the pilot and the information that they have to provide. We hope you enjoy the show.
And as always, we want to come over here and say hi to my panel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Thank you so very much. Let's say hi to Joshua Marsh, ppg.com. Welcome, buddy. How you doing? And how is your video card?
I still haven't got it replaced yet.
Oh my goodness. Now, you know, Josh in the background, what he's going to do is he's going to grab videos of our guest and put them on here, so we don't just see talking heads, we get to see them fly and stuff. It's really cool. David, our guest, David Proctor, do you have a YouTube account? Do you have video up there?
Nothing on YouTube. Some 10-year-old dog training stuff. Everything of mine's on my Facebook.
Okay. Okay, Josh, you got that? Okay, good. So Josh is going to be pulling up stuff like that and playing it as we are doing our podcast. So Josh, thank you very much for helping us out in the background. We appreciate you, buddy. What is your .com?
JoshPPG.com.
Is it Josh PPG or is it PPG Josh?
Oh, shoot, I don't know.
I think it's ppgjosh.com, so check out ppgjosh.com. So thank you very much. We also got Scuba Steve. He's going to be helping us out in the background, so thank you very much, buddy. We appreciate you. We also got Jim, our official sponsor. He's up in Canada, his maple syrup smelling money it makes me crave some bacon with some maple syrup and some good pancakes. But anyways, Jim, welcome to the show. Glad that you're here, buddy.
Glad to be here.
You got some really cool stuff going on too. We're uploading pictures for our Paramotor calendar. Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, we've got a voting site set up. In fact, just like 1 or 2 seconds ago, during your intro, it went live. So if you go to ppgcalendar.com, image voting, there are pictures to vote on.
Awesome. Can we upload pictures now, or the uploading is done and we have to just vote?
Uploading is done.
Okay, so uploading's done. Make sure you go to PPG calendars. Is it calendars with an S or calendar singular?
Singular.
Okay, ppgcalendar.com and vote on all the awesome pictures that are uploaded, and then he's going to be making some calendars for us. And do you have a pre-buying the calendars, or how does that work as far as buying your calendars, Jim?
We haven't quite got that totally finalized, but you can go to paramotorcalendar.com and you can buy them through there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. If I want to make some stickers, have some stickers made, or a calendar made, or some decals, which are decals, where do I go to get that? And is there a discount code that we can use?
Yeah, you can go to carepp.com and you can connect to either me personally or somebody in the office, and we'll help you set up the decals. If you mention ppggrandpa.com or ppggrandpa, we'll give you 10% off.
Wow, I like it. Hey, I'm worth 10%, everybody. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate what you do, Jim. And make sure that you hit his QR code, because I think if you use your QR code and you go to your page, you get a little something, something too. So make sure you hit that QR code when you see him pop up. So we appreciate you, Jim, and welcome to the show. Okay, so check back with carepp.com and also go to ppgcalendar.com. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. We appreciate you, buddy. We also got Will Fly, the PPG guy. If you want to be on the spinny wheel of winning things, please make sure you say hi to Will Fly, the PPG spinny wheel guy. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing good. Good to be here. Monday night's my favorite. I'm just going through all this cool bling that I got in the mail from PPG Grandpa. These really cool pens. Let's see if you can see it here. Going to be hard to see without my background on, but yeah, thank you very much, man. It's really neat.
Yeah,
that's the first PPG pen that I've gotten ever.
Really? What does it say on your PPG pen?
It says Paramotor Arkansas. Yep. And Paramotor Pilot. Paramotorarkansas.com, Paramotor Pilot. Really like it, man.
Awesome. You're one of the 2 people that own one right now.
I will use it proudly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Like I say, guys, if you want to be on the spinning wheel of winning things, make sure that you say something to Will Fly. Also, too, don't forget to go over to his channel because he puts out some really good content. And what's that URL, sir?
It's willflyppg.com, or just search for Will Fly on YouTube.
Excellent day. Thank you very much. And of course, we got our Paramom USA, Linda Anderson. You want to be on the show, make sure you get up with Linda. Welcome to the show, Linda.
Thank you. Welcome. Hello, my panel, and welcome my parrot chatters and everybody in the podcast. Thank you all for joining us tonight, Monday night. You know where to be. Grab a comfy chair, your snack, just enjoy because it's going to be a good one. Welcome, David. Thank you for being our guest tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. And of course, it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about the panel. Tonight is all about our guest, David Proctor. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Actually, it's happy birthday, right?
Yeah, pretty close. Couple of days ago.
Yes.
Would have been my 1 year since my first flight.
Yeah, so it's a happy birthday, not birth. It's a happy flight birthday. So you've been flying for 1 year. That's awesome. I never thought about actually keeping track of how many years we've been doing this and saying happy birthday on my 1 year and 2 year and 3 year, all that. That sounds really cool. I never thought about doing that, but happy 1 year I've been flying a paramotor. So for all of you guys out there that don't know David, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into paramotoring?
I discovered it about 2 years ago, just watching YouTube. I was actually looking for a hang gliding instruction, and a bunch of different videos popped up, and looked at paragliders, and then powered paragliders, and then got into the Tucker Gott videos and all that fun stuff, and eventually got to the point where I started looking at training schools and discovered there was one about 4 hours from me. So I went up there to go and look at it, and the day that I went to look at it, I had already bought one in my head. I was ready to go.
Really? So where did you go train, and what wing and motor did you get?
Is Colorado Paramotor, just a little bit north of Denver, and I ended up on a Gravity Defiant with a Moster 185, and a BGD Magic 29. That's actually from the day that I went to go and look for the first time, and that's my daughter on a tandem flight. I was too heavy to take up on a tandem, but I sent my daughter up to check it out.
Well, you said that you got a 29-meter wing, and you don't look like you're too heavy. So what's that all about?
Yeah, I was 250 pounds at the time, but I'm also at about 7,000 feet in elevation up here, so it's a little bit thinner.
Speaking about thinner, look at your face. Your face looks nice and thin. So you
lost
look
a
like
lot.
you look like you lost a lot. So how's that as far as flying that 29-meter? You still
It's
like
a boat. It's a boat now, but I lost it all kiting back and forth across that sod farm we were just looking at. Took me about 8-9 weeks to work up the nerve to squeeze the throttle all the way down. Hey, there's my first flight.
first flight. Good
Yep.
deal. I always love to watch first flights. Flights are great. Now, were you nervous? I mean, how'd you feel on your first flight? Walk us through what you felt.
I was an absolute robot on my first flight. My brain shut off. I was Army airborne before this, so I take instruction very well in stressful situations, and that's all I was doing, is listening to the voice in my ear and following every direction that he gave me. And I barely remember the first flight. I couldn't talk. My mouth was just welded shut. I was receiving instructions, and I was able to comply and follow those instructions, but I forgot that I was on a two-way radio and that I could talk back. So eventually started asking, hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And I kicked my legs, yes. And can you get into your seat? And I would kick my legs, no, because my seat board was underneath me. And he goes, can you talk? And I go, yes, I can. But it took a minute.
Awesome. So were you not able to get in your seats? Did it take you a minute? Were you
Not
able
on
to
the first one. Not on the first one. I've since figured it out, but on my harness, if I've got those leg straps too tight, the seat just folds up behind you when you launch, and you can't get it undone. You have to land and fix it.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, that looks like you had a fun flight. So your first flight obviously wasn't very long since you were hanging. He probably had you come around and land right away.
Yeah, I think I did 2 passes. He asked me if I wanted to come down immediately, but I came around and I did 2 passes, and then the third one was the landing.
I see your foot's out in front of you, looking good there.
Yep,
Are you going to go for a landing right now, way over there?
yep, that's the landing. Asked me if I was going to make the field. I told him I have no idea, and I almost went over the field.
Awesome. Look at that. That was great, man.
uh,
Did you land on your feet?
Not on that one, no.
No, we can't see, so say yes. If you don't see the big clump of dirt and your feet flailing up in the air, would you just say that you landed on your feet? No, that was really good. That was really good. So you have a second flight also that's on your Facebook available, or?
Oh, I got all kinds of stuff on the Facebook. That's where I share all of the videos. Mostly just cell phone camera, what I can take in flight. So not a lot of launches and landings,
Okay.
but lots of just the pretty view. And
So do you take your phone out, or is it on a mount, or how do you take flights with your
so
phone when you're flying?
I have a chest pack that it's tethered to. It's made for snowboarding. And I've just got a little tether and a line that goes to that, so I can unzip the pocket, take it out, play with it for a minute, and then put it back in the pocket.
I got a grin from ear to ear looking at you, looking down at your feet. You moved your feet around. You can see your shadow in front of you. It's like, I know this. That was just absolutely perfect. Just sitting there, looking at your feet, looking at your shadow, looking around. For all you guys out there that haven't flown yet, flying a paramotor is so incredibly fun. It's relaxing, and you're in a complete different mindset. When you are not flying, you think about bills, you think about work, you think about this and that and the other. Now, when you're flying, what do you think about?
Flying.
Flying, enjoying. There's nothing in the world that can be possibly wrong in your life when you're flying. Tell us, okay, so we see you with a selfie flying. How do you feel when you're flying? And it looks like it's pretty bright because you got some ski goggles on, it looks like.
Yeah, the ski goggles come out as soon as it starts getting cold, and it gets real cold. But it just depends on the flight. I never go up with a plan. I show up to the field and I launch and I see what the air feels like. And if it's kind of strong, well, I'm flying into the wind. If it's not real strong and it's nice and smooth, I'm going to be foot dragging and playing with tree gaps and maybe playing with a coyote or two occasionally. If it's kind of bumpy, then I'm going to take it up high and I'm going to play with the chicken game with myself, where I hold the throttle until I get scared and then let go, which usually happens right around 3,000 feet or so.
Interesting. I think Jim found a question in the super chat. Jim, what's the question?
Well, they were wondering, it's Bonnie, Silly Bon Franz was wondering if you also trike launch.
No, I've not tried a trike launch yet.
Are you thinking about that in the future?
Maybe in the future. I have some days where maybe my knee bothers me or something, and not having to run would be nice. But I feel like I've gotten technically good enough with my launches at this point and comfortable enough with it that if it's bad, if I've got a sprained ankle, I can still launch my magic.
Okay. And now here's a question. Have you ever gone to a fly-in and wish that you didn't have to carry that wing and your paramotor all the way over to the other side of the field?
I've gotten lucky so far as camping spot, parking spot. Haven't really had to worry about it too much.
So that's a good way of having like a retractor trike or something like that. You can just bolt on one. So like when you do go to a fly-in, it's obviously, yes, you lucked out. A lot of fly-ins, you have to go to the other side, or the wind's wrong, or it shifts or something like that. And that's the time to bolt on your retractor trike and drive over to a spot that isn't full of people. Unbolt it if you want to do the foot launch, go fly, then land next to it, bolt it back on, and drive back over to your spot. So trikes aren't just for old grandpa farts like me or someone with a bad back or knee. It's a strategic thing, I think.
Absolutely. No, the Army had me carrying heavy stuff on my back for long periods for several years, so not a big deal there.
Now, see, Marine Corps, they did the same thing. Unfortunately, now my back is shot. So, you know, I originally got the Mulster 185, but and a Blackhawk 220. But you know what my fave is right now? I'll tell you
What was that?
Adam 80.
Really?
Yeah, Adam 80 on a power to fly, and I'm 250, dude.
I don't think I could work one up here. I don't know. I haven't
Not
tried
at
one.
7,000 feet, probably not. I'm low enough I'm able to do it. Now, what fly-ins did you go to, and what fly-ins do you want to do in the future?
Well, I've gone to Buena Vista, Colorado, because that was 2 or 3 hours from me. So I went and did that. That was fun. That was my first one. Just a little private fly-in, maybe 15 pilots or so. And then I went to Moab a couple of months ago, and that was an absolute blast. That was beautiful. I think I flew 9 hours in 3 days. It was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, there's some good video from Moab from the ground. But that was gorgeous. I would like to do some sea level stuff, but the ocean is about 14 to 18 hours away from me. So I'm not sure where I need to go exactly for that.
I was going to ask how good is the wind over there in Moab, but I'm looking at the windsock and going, oh, there's not really any to speak of.
Yeah, and that's a calibrated windsock. That's maybe 2 miles an hour.
That's neat. So for people that don't know a calibrated windsock, what is a calibrated windsock?
Just means that basically when it's it measures it accurately. So when my sock is out at a full 90-degree angle, that's a 10-mile-an-hour wind. 45-degree angle is a 5-mile-an-hour wind. And then anything under that, it's just a division.
Excellent, excellent. Will Fly found another question in the super chat. Will?
Yeah, Bill H wants to know if you fly with the other people, you have a local group, or you just fly solo?
Bit of both. There's about 20 of us within 2 or 3 hours that all fly, some more than others. When I can, I'm out 4 or 5 days a week flying. So a lot of that is by myself, just because other people have normal jobs and can't do that. But I fly with the other pilots around here quite a bit as well.
You've been flying for a year, right?
Yeah.
And have you gotten to the point where you slowed down a little bit, or is it because my first year I flew every single chance I could, so I can.
Yeah,
totally
I haven't slowed down yet. I'm at 150 hours, and I don't know how many flights. At least 300, and I'm not stopping anytime soon.
Good for you, man. Enjoy it.
Absolutely. So here's another video for you guys that are listening to this on your favorite podcasting app. You can always go to ClearPropTV.com and watch what we are talking about. We have a show live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. So make sure you join us by just going to iflyparamotors.com. So what are we seeing right now?
That is the LZ at the Moab fly-in that I'm cruising over right there.
So how many people are usually over here at the fly-in? Doesn't look like there's a bunch.
It wasn't a whole lot. No, it was kind of small, and there were 3 different groups of us, all within a couple of different, maybe within a mile or so. But I think there were maybe 15 of us at that site, 10 at another, 10 at another.
Okay, that looks like a really nice sunset. When you fly, do you try to fly, turn on your strobes and fly 30 minutes after sunset?
I generally launch 30 minutes before sunrise, and then fly until either I'm tired or out of fuel.
Well, so you've done all day flying before.
Not a lot of midday stuff, but morning and then hang out and do the camp goofing around thing during the day, and then fly again in the afternoon. 2 hours before sunset type thing.
Excellent. Will Fly, I think there's another question in the super chat, but before he asks that, how many people do we have watching right now, and how many thumbs up do we have?
We have 12 thumbs up and 25 watching now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. If you like our guests, please give us some thumbs up. David, you are an amazing guest, and flying for only a year, you're really packing on some hours. I'm sorry, Will, go ahead and ask the question.
Oh yeah, no problem. Sean Hayden, it's kind of a statement and a question, but I think he's asking, do you fly with Chris Montes and Nathan up in Colorado? They're good folks, and he's asking, I guess, if you know those guys.
Okay, I know them. We've chatted on Facebook and stuff. I haven't gotten the opportunity to get up there and fly with them yet. They're about 3 hours north of me.
Cool.
It looks like you're flying in the snow there. How's that? Does it get too cold, or how's that work out for you?
It gets real cold. I wear heated glove liners inside my heated gloves.
Oh, really? What kind? Okay, real quick, what kind do you use? Because I'm up for a new pair. My old pair, the batteries aren't working anymore. What do you use? And do you
I'm
like?
not sure. I come home and I tell my wife my fingers got a little cold on that last flight, and then a couple of days later she gives me a box and goes, here. And I don't know what they are, but
There's one thing about this is true for any kind of flying, but when you're used to no snow on the ground, the first time you fly and it's a snow covered situation, everything looks different. It just it can easily throw you off, and you can get disoriented, turned around pretty easily. So it's just one thing to keep in mind.
And that's probably why he's wearing those ski goggles.
Oh yeah, ski goggles or a full face mask and a balaclava. There's no exposed skin at all when I'm flying, and it's like that.
Do you remember your first landing in the snow?
Yeah. My first landing in the snow, I kind of slid in and came in on my butt intentionally, just because I didn't want to slip and turtle or hit real hard. But after the first one, I immediately took off again and did one lap and came back in and nailed the next landing, no problem. But I wasn't sure about the texture.
How was your perception, your depth perception? Did it change? Did you notice any kind of change when you're coming in for your flare? Any kind of?
Not really, no. At that point, I trained in November in Colorado, so I was kind of thrown right into it. I mean, maybe 3 weeks into flying, that's the conditions that I was dealing with. So it came up real quick, and everything was new. So that being new wasn't a problem.
That was old hat to you at that point, I guess.
Well, so I was looking over here in the super chat. I got it on the big monitor so I can see, and it looks like Just Want to Fly posted a link to the heated glove liners. It's a complete set. I see it at $259. So if you want to check that out. Oh, that's an extra small. So I wonder if it changes with going for a large. Nope, still $259. Oh, you can buy it with the firm, only at $45 a month. So as you're flying every year or every month, you can go, okay, there's $45 for this month, $45.
Pay them all finger by finger.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, if you guys have any good gloves that you guys use in the super chat, please let me know. I'm trying to find some good ones that we can put on Paramotor Arkansas on our store. There's so many out there, but I don't know which ones are the good ones. I don't know which ones are the best ones.
Savior is what she's telling me.
What is it?
Savior.
It's
she's telling me they're 100.
They're hard to judge because you either get some that they heat good and they're You want the dexterity too. Most of the heated gloves are so thick,
Oh,
you
I
don't
got
have any
no
dexterity.
dexterity. I got no dexterity. I'm wearing heated gloves with the heated glove liners inside them, and both turned on high.
You
So I
really
can't
don't.
feel a damn thing.
You really don't even need it. I mean, I've gone up with mittens with heated stuff on inside the mittens. I just put the brakes over this, you know, and then
I've seen those. I've
yeah.
seen those. I haven't tried that.
I just fly with big mittens, and then when I'm up there, I just stow the brake and I just weight shift, you know, especially when it gets cold. I hate flying in the cold. The only thing that's cold is my hands. Everything else, I don't care if my face freezes. I don't care if I got no sickles or anything. It's my fingers, it's my hands. Everything else can freeze. I can go up in a bikini, which I'm not. As long as my hands have a good, there's one for you. There's one for you. I'll take a picture of me in a bikini with heated gloves. I'm like, I'm warm. No, I'm
It
just
would make the calendar for sure.
Oh, that's
No
right. We got the
question about it.
calendar. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wonderful.
We'll
Hey,
have to do it next
Aaron
time.
Ninja said that he recommends, and I concur, $69 Sabbath heat gloves. And man, those things are just awesome. As a matter of fact, they get too hot. I have to turn them down.
Sabot, S-A-B-O-T.
Yeah, Sabbath.
S-A-
Yeah, I've never had any that get too hot. I'm gonna have to check those out. If they get too hot, that's good.
That's what
They
I'm looking
actually
for.
Yeah, they actually get too hot, and they actually sent me some, and I don't get anything or any kind of compensation. But I said, okay, well, I'll try them, and I was really surprised. I mean, at that price
Really?
point, you can't beat that.
That sounds really
So,
good.
what's up, Eric?
Eric, what?
Eric also says, I second the Sabbath gloves.
Oh, gotcha. All
Yeah,
right.
I paid like 90 something for my gloves, so 69 is a way better deal.
I paid 25 for mine. They were the cheapest ones I could find, and they lasted 3 years. But when you're flying, the wind just goes through. So when you're on the ground, it's like, okay, they're sweating. As soon as you start to fly, the wind just takes all the heat away. So do you have any problems with that, David? When you go fly, the wind just takes the heat away, or you still feels warm?
Yeah, every couple of minutes, I'll have to take my hands off the toggles and stick
Okay.
them inside my my jacket and warm them up, take them below the heart
Really?
for a minute. And then when I can feel my fingers again, I grab the toggles and go foot drag through the snow.
That's something I haven't done yet. Is this foot drag through the snow. Will, on those $69 ones that you said that you got, when you fly, do you feel the heat being taken out, or do you feel?
No, not so much. I want to say they're leather. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure they are. If not, I mean, I haven't had an issue with that. So another thing along those lines, and someone briefly mentioned the dexterity issue. I never launched with gloves on. I just can't do it. And people have said, well, you'll get used to it after a while. That's just not my style, man. I want to be able to feel every little bit of that wing and from those lines. I just put them on. So I put them on in the air. So keep that in mind when you're ordering gloves. If you get the next size up, it makes it a lot easier to put the gloves on.
No,
In the
I
air.
have to
Yeah,
put them
scrub
on
line.
before I launch. It's
Yeah, in Colorado, I'd imagine it's life or death situation at that point.
yeah, 30 seconds into flying, you get up to 300 feet to put your gloves on. You're not going to be able to feel your fingers.
What's the coldest you've flown?
12 degrees.
Dang, man. Better man than I.
That's cold. I'm not much of a cold person. I think that the coldest I flew was 27, 28 or something like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that again. And I tried at
Yeah.
32. It was kind of cold, but about 40, a couple degrees above freezing, I can tolerate with some good gloves. But I need some good gloves. Anybody else out there in the super chat? Or if you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app after the live show, please email me, ppggrandpa@gmail.com, and let me know what you think would be really good gloves for somebody to stay warm, and I'll search and look for that.
The Sabbath heated gloves are $55.99 right now on Amazon.
Really? 55?
Yeah, they changed, and that's kind of if you want a pair of those gloves, you have to get them when they're available, because when they run out of your size, they stop. They won't make any more until the next season.
Oh wow!
So
Yeah, I got really big hands, and extra large gloves feel tight. I got to get 2 or 3 XL for these hands. You know what they say about big hands, right? You got big feet too. I got big feet. It's crazy. It looks like it looks like we got a couple of people that said, "I'd pay to see me in the bikini." John Wayne and Wade Collins. You guys are gross. You don't want to see Grandpa in a bikini, but hey, if you're going to pay me, sounds good to me. I will do
He
that.
said he'd pay not to see you in a bikini.
Oh, which one said, okay, so Wade says I
Wade.
pay not to see you, and John will pay to see me. Oh, well, there you go. They kind of cancel out. That's pretty cool. I forgot to ask David. David, how long do you have with us tonight? Do you have an hour and a half, 2 hours? What do you have?
Oh, however long. I'm not in a hurry.
Okay, so the last one that said that, we did a 6-hour podcast. So
Oh, we'll cut it at 3.
I like you. I like you. I like it a lot. You're cool. All right, guys. Did we talk about all 3 of your wings and why you have 3 different wings yet? I know that we talked about your magic at 29, but did we talk about the rest of them?
Oh, I don't know. I got the Roadrunner when I started, just to learn kiting. The wind is not really great here, so
When you say not great here, are you talking about too windy, not enough wind? It's sporadic.
both very sporadic, weird, shifty. It could be a 180-degree switch. It happens all the time.
That looks like the magic wing there. It has to be the magic wing.
Yeah, that's the 29 magic. And you can see on that one, I probably ran a good, 20 yards or so to get up on that. And that was a good forward powered launch. If you watch that one with the sound on, I'm real proud of my form on that one. And it still takes a minute to get up. But that's
hey,
the 29
Josh,
magic.
you want to rewind that again so we can watch him from the beginning while he's talking? So tell us really quick as we're watching this, what's going on? How we
Oh, well, I'm backing up and I'm on the throttle. I'm standing and bracing and holding on the power, and getting ready to hit it. There I start running and I let off the power. Now I'm back on the power and on the brakes and in my run. So that kind of is how it flows through. But when there's no wind, it's a powered forward for me to get that thing up in the air.
You got in your seat really easy that time too, I see.
Yeah, that's maybe flight 300 or so, a little easier than 2 or 3.
Say that suit that you're wearing, that thing's pretty cool. Is that wind resistant?
Yeah, it's just a rain jacket, high visibility rain jacket. I wear it outside of a snowsuit.
Okay.
So it blocks the wind, and then I've got the insulation underneath.
Good idea.
And it's high visibility. I fly out of an airport a lot, and there's a lot of air traffic. So everything is super high visibility.
do you have a strobe on during the day when you fly?
Not generally during the day. I don't think mine's bright enough that you can really see it, but I do a lot of sunrise flights, and I'll keep it on for those.
Okay, cool. Now you also have a 24-meter wing. What's the 24-meter wing for?
That's the
And what
dudek
is it?
report air. And that is for when it's too windy for me to handle the magic properly, or if it's too windy up high for me to make any kind of progress. That's my fast wing. And it's somebody touched on it in the pre-show, but it's a lot more touchy. I'm a little bit overloaded on it, but it's much easier. I don't know if easier is the right word. It's lighter controls. The magic, I have to really shift over hard and really crank down on that brake in order to get a turn in, versus the report air. It's just 3 inches or so of pull, even in to engage the tip steer, and it just goes right over. So it's a lot more playful, a lot more responsive, and a lot faster. But it's also a massive pain to launch. I got to run a good 60 to 80 yards, depending on the conditions, to get that little 24-meter in the air.
Interesting. So you got the Roadrunner, you got your Magic 29, and your Dudek 24.
Yep.
What do you think about flying the 29 meter opposed to the 24 meter? I know that you got one for the high winds and one for, lower winds. And you just told us the difference as far as like, the dudek is more carvy.
hmm
Do you have tip steering, or how do they, what are on your trims?
It does. It's got tip steering and the 2D is tied in. So I can use either the tip steering independently or the 2D steering on the main brakes.
How
Yeah.
about the magic?
The magic is extremely, extremely simple. The trimmers are like 3 inches long tops, and the brakes are really, really heavy to pull on. It doesn't do much. It's good for floating around slowly and checking the scene out. If I want to climb really high, it'll climb really fast. If my ankle's bothering me, it's a nice short run, nice slow landings, that kind of thing. So it's for either when the air's not moving and I don't want to run real hard, or if I'm not feeling good and I don't want to run real hard. If I can get the report air up, if I'm feeling okay physically, then that's what I prefer, just because it's a lot faster.
Wow, so you like the fast wings and not so much the boaty wings that keep
Mm.
you safe. Who likes the
Yeah.
boaty wings when you can carve up the sky, right? Do you plan on getting rid of the magic and keeping your dudek, or you plan on
Probably
keeping
not.
both of them and adding to your arsenal?
Yeah, I'll probably keep both of them forever and end up with another wing as well. When there's no wind and I don't want to run, that magic is wonderful because I can still fly. When the conditions are right for me to get the report air in the air, I'll pick it. But I'm probably not going to get rid of the magic. I think I've got 110, 120 hours on that wing alone. So I'm real comfortable on it. If even though I know technically I'm probably safer on the report air just because of the loading as far as collapse resistance and that sort of thing. But I learned on the magic and I have a lot of time on the magic. So I just kind of feel safe when I'm under that wing. I know what it's going to do. When I pull on the brake, I know how much to pull. It's not going to surprise me. The report air will still surprise me occasionally if I've got a little more energy than I did last time, and I go to pull a nice turn and bring that wing to the horizon. Sometimes it'll dip a little further than I meant it to, and I've got to bring it back. The magic is just very, very calm.
Is that like a baklava with ski goggles, or is that a whole face mask type setup?
Is
That's
he
a
is he
yeah,
eating
that's
a
a
baklava? Is
balaclava.
he eating baklava up there?
Oh, my bad.
Balaclava.
Yeah, that's a balaclava underneath a full face shield with ski goggles. So it's a hard plastic on the outside to keep the wind out, and then a 3-layer balaclava underneath it.
So have you ever eaten baklava and instead of your baklava?
I may have. Maybe I'm hungry.
Awesome. I think there's another question in the chat, Willfly.
Yeah, there is. Scott Milner says, David, I see you're in the Colorado Springs area. There's a lot of military traffic there. How do you account for that when you do your planning?
So the restricted zones are really, really clearly marked out. We've all got apps, and there's groups of us that are familiar with the areas and have flown the areas before. So if you don't know where the border is, your buddy knows where the border is. It pops up on all of the apps. It's not difficult. We just kind of tend to stay low around the military airspaces to stay away from the fighter jets and stuff. But it's not really a problem.
You said something earlier. Well, I mean, you're in the Colorado Springs area, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so the elevation there is about 6,000, somewhere thereabouts.
Yeah. 6, 7.
Okay, so and then you said you went to Moab.
Yep.
Which is a couple thousand less than I think it's a little less than Colorado
Yeah. It's
Springs,
about
right?
4.5 or 5. Yep.
So density altitude's a real thing. I mean, have
Yeah.
they've been talked to a lot about density altitude and all that. And then the real question is, when you're flying in Colorado Springs and you go to a place like Moab, which at 4,000 feet is high even for most of us, what differences do you notice?
Well, that's the lowest I've ever flown from. And it was so easy. It was amazing. You know, the report air when I'm running 80 yards up here to get it in the air, cut that in half at 4,000 feet or so over at Moab. It was, you know, 35, 40 yards. The wing inflates, it goes solid a lot faster versus here it kind of stays loose and floppy. You got to really get in the power early and start running early and get that wing moving in order to get it to fill up. It doesn't go rigid until you've got a little bit of airspeed in it. So I've never gone any lower than that. I'm looking forward to it, but it makes a big difference.
You're going to be like Superman. I mean, when you're going from high to low, that's okay. But when you're going from low to high and you're not used to the altitude, if you don't plan on that, it can really bite you. You remember Sean at Mountain City.
Yes,
Those
I'm
slides.
just replaying all that in my mind. I'm like, crap, I should have had a 35-meter wing and I would have been fine.
But if it has anything to do with air, it's going to be affected by density altitude. That's just the way it is. So it's going to take a longer run. It's going to take more power. Your wing's not going to be as efficient. Just everything.
Well, and I'm watching all of these videos of everybody launching in 2 or 3 steps. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I've had friends video me, and I'm leaning back, and I'm, you know, working on the posture and getting all of the technique really dialed in. And then I, you know, go to show my instructor a video like, okay, here's what I've got. Why is it taking so damn long? He's like, that's perfect. It's because we're at 7,000 feet. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
go fly a state that's closer to sea level and see how you like that.
Yeah, like I said,
I've
we're
got
over here
family
at
out in
only
Tennessee.
300 feet above sea level. Come on over here to Arkansas. It's not that far from Colorado.
I might have to come give it a
It's
try.
going to be, I'm serious, man. You're going to feel like you're a superhero. It's going to be incredible. You're
Well,
going to
then
love
I'm not going to want to come home though.
Probably.
Yeah, just bring your 24-meter because that's pretty cool. I have 28 meters in all different sizes over here at the school, and you can try different wings. If you try a 28-meter wing over here, you're going to take like 2 steps and be like straight up. It's insane.
Yeah. This video is at a Pueblo Motorsports Park. So we've got several different areas around here where we can fly. That's one thing I really like about the area is I can go 40 minutes north and I can be in Castle Rock Monument. That's the video you saw with all the snow and the forest. This is 40 minutes south of me. In Pueblo, there's a giant reservoir out there. And then this is the dirt bike track where I chop up my propellers, foot dragging next to the dirt bikes. And then east of me is just meadows. It's just flat forever leading out in towards Kansas.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about your foot dragging, gravel and dirt and stuff before we tell us about how many props you went through and for people that haven't flown yet or haven't done any foot dragging, what you need to do so you don't break props.
Well, I've completely destroyed 1 E-prop and 1 helix, 2 blade 130. Here's a nice landing. Completely destroyed those. And then I've got 1 E-prop that has been blasted with gravel and sand, and then repaired about 3 or 4 times. So that's my designated, I'm going to screw around really low propeller. And I've got 1 clean 2-blade E-prop that I'm a little more careful with.
Excellent. All right.
There's Stan flying above me in the video there.
I've done one foot drag on a gravel road. I've not done it since. But if you can, because it chipped my prop. But have you considered putting tape on the leading edge of your prop?
I have, yeah. It kind of eats through it. It just depends on the rock that hits it, and it seems kind of random. But you know, it's not too big of a deal to fix the chips in them. And I mean, I know it's probably not good for the motor for them to not be balanced and for things to be vibrating. I don't feel any weird vibration. It hasn't messed with the motor yet. But I've got one prop that's kind of gnarly. That it still flies though. It still gives me thrust, and it hasn't exploded.
As long as it hasn't exploded, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of people in the super chat have said what their AGL is. Let's see. Bill H said he's about 180 to 200 feet above sea level. Mike Thompson, PPG, says about 600. Jim from Canada A over at carepp.com said about 1750. Misty and Scott says, oh, they're talking about something else. Will Fly says 350 feet. Joshua Marsh says 900. Misty said 5 to 7,000. Wow, you guys are really up there.
There you go.
Brian Franz 650. John Wayne 642. I'm telling you, right on the button. He's at 642 limit. Stan Spillman says 6,400. That's really high up there.
Yeah,
Hey,
Stan's with me. He's in Castle Rock. Yeah,
okay, Stan,
we
what
fly
size
together a lot.
what size wing do you use, and how heavy are you?
Oh, he's a little guy.
I just want to fly is 1460. Para Ninja 82. That's pretty cool. I bet 82. I don't think that there's much difference between 82 and where I am at about 300. Travis is at 130. Michael Jasper 476. Jay Proctor is 7260. Holy
Yep.
smokers.
That's my wife talking there. That's our altitude here.
Gotcha. Let's see.
It's funny because
Lawn-
if I check my device, it says I'm negative 46 feet.
Oh, that's cool. You should have lots of lift. Lawn Chair Aviation. Dude, I love it. Lawn Chair Aviation, 5,700. That's the coolest name ever. Bonnie Silibon Franz, 682s at the airport. Jay Proctor, Castle Rock is 68. And he also says Pueblo is 4913. Walter Pori from where's Walter from?
I think Australia.
Is he from tomorrow? I think he's from tomorrow. He says 15 below. I don't know if he's talking about the weather over there or if he's talking about his actual
It's
height
summer there.
above sea level. I don't know. Maybe it is. All right. Sounds awesome. Now we are at 8 o'clock. So we're going to be going to the after show in just a moment. We're going to be doing the second and final spinning wheel of anything in just a moment. Any questions for David before we do the spinning wheel of anything? Anything in the
Yeah, I
anything in
got
the super chat or panel?
I got one. How the heck did you get Mintie to make that video for you?
I asked him on the group chat. I went, "Hey, I don't know how to make a video. Can somebody help me?" And he went, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I sent him a bunch of video, and he threw that together for me.
That's
You know,
really
I
awesome.
talked to him and he told me that took him close to 20 hours to make that.
He-
Oh my
he
gosh,
worked hard
Josh,
on
can
it,
you
yeah.
play that real quick while they're talking about that?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, he did real good with that. The way it lines up with the music and everything. It was funny. He was asking what kind of music I like. I'm like, let's go with like a Tony Hawk 1 kind of soundtrack. And that's not what we got, but I like it.
Well, I had to change it because that one would have killed the video on my
Yeah.
channel. So I
Yeah.
so I changed it just a little bit. I put
No, That's all right.
I put some really good music in it, but that was a really good video. So this what is it, 1 minute ish, 2 minutes?
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a
Took
minute and
20
30.
hours. That's insane.
There's my dirt road foot dragon.
So
Moab,
it kind of
Pueblo.
looks like we've seen these already. That's pretty awesome. Josh has
Yeah.
been really on the ball. Also, DP donated $10 in the super chat. He said, "Sorry so late." No problem, buddy. You are our bestie. So you can
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in late anytime you want to, DP.
Thanks,
Matter of fact, DP,
Much love.
DP, do me a favor. Tomorrow, when you get the chance, text me. There's something I want to send you because you've been so nice in sending us donations, I'm going to send you something too, bud.
Yeah.
So give me a text tomorrow. Let me know when you can chat on the phone.
Yep.
All right. Walter says, "Good day, y'all. Tomorrow is on its way."
That's right.
Excellent. Yeah, that's an awesome video. So thank you for putting that together for David.
They were asking, what's the highest altitude you've flown, David?
About 3,000 AGL from 7,300.
So you hit the 10,000 mark.
Yeah, I don't know if it counts when you start at 7.
It counts. Why not? It still counts as 10,000 above sea level.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, 10,000 MSL.
And the cool-
AGL is another thing.
I'd like to do the top of Pikes Peak. Me and 3 other
Very cool.
buddies out here are aiming at it for this next year, and that's 14 and some change. But I'd like to start at the bottom and either fly over, maybe kick the top, give it a little foot drag. We'll see what conditions are like, but I'd like to at least fly up to the top and then back down.
It says make sure to post video when you do the Pikes Peak thing. I guess it'll be on Facebook.
Yeah, if I make it up there, it'll be on there.
Yep. And if I ever do the bikini shot thing, I'll make sure I put it on there too.
Oh, Lordy.
Yep.
I'm serious. That would be an awesome centerfold, John.
But you know what?
Buy that?
We might have to do that.
Right on, man.
Excelente. David, my goodness, we went through an hour and a half of chatting with you. It's been nonstop fun.
Fun.
My dogs are barking in the background now. You jerk, stop that. Did you tell us about your training, where you trained, how you liked it?
Yeah, Colorado Paramotor. It was awesome. No complaints. It was about 4 hours from me, and it was very open as far as the format and the schedule. A lot of you guys learn in looks like 7 or 10 days. I took a couple of months, about 9 weeks, just going 2-3 times a week, driving up there and working in the mornings and then through noon, maybe a little after, on kiting and training. But it took me a couple of months to actually get good enough at handling the wing, confident enough in the equipment to actually make my first launch.
Did it wear you out, David, when you had to go for 4 hours, or did you stay there, or did you go back and you said you went back and forth throughout the week?
Yeah, it was pretty exhausting. I'd get up 4 hours before sunrise and drive up there to be there at sunrise, and work until sunset, and do the 4-hour drive home, crash, and go do that a couple of times a week.
Yeah, don't say crash when we're talking about paramotors, though.
Yeah, and then just kiting in between. When I wasn't going up there to go train, I'd pull out the Roadrunner and go flip it over on the leading edge every once in a while, but just playing with it.
Hey, Jay Proctor says, I've been waiting to fly PPG since I was probably 10 years old, and I'm still waiting to learn. I have to have a trike because of disability. Jay Proctor,
Yeah.
It's well worth it.
Yeah, that's my wife. We're gonna get her up. It's gonna require a little bit of equipment. I've been looking at like the Sky Cart design for her. It looks like you can it uses more of a steering wheel and less of a top down toggle manipulation like we're used to. I think that's going to be a good fit for her. So we're probably going to go with something like that.
Well, especially up there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not using one card.
Yeah, you know what? That might be something to think about. If you're up at 7,000 feet, a trike might be able to take a lot of weight off your knees and back for that long run, especially in nil wind. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Stan Spillman, I didn't see that you had to drive an hour. That was the last one I think I saw. Yeah, so trike
Bonnie's
is
going to
nice.
be traveling 804 miles to attend training in April.
Really, Bonnie, where are you going to train? I'm curious. for 804 miles, that trainer must be an amazing trainer to drive that far. You kind of see where this is going though, right, guys?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably going to Arkansas.
Probably going to Arkansas with this grandpa guy. I don't know. But yeah, so you guys really went a lot. And what was it? In David Rainey said in 2014, not much available.
So David,
Yeah.
what's your favorite place to fly?
Probably out here near the airport. Nobody bothers me. I don't have to worry about leaving the LZ. It's very, very stress free. And then the meadows out there. If you have a motor out, you could probably close your eyes and land and be just fine. There's nothing out there for miles and miles. So it's just a very safe, very forgiving area, and usually pretty good wind coming off of the flatlands. So easy launches, easy landings, no rotor. The other areas around here get more technical. Either you're around cliffs or mountains or over woods, and I like the open meadow where I just don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, you have, given your altitude as well, you have quite a bit more complicated takeoff procedure just to start with.
Yeah, that long run is a bit of a pain in the butt. There are a couple of places out here where I can launch it. I've made it work, but you basically have to inflate, hop over a ditch, get on the power, kind of kite jump, hop over another ditch, pull the brakes a little bit, run some more, and then launch and take off.
Pretty much have to run to your destination, it sounds like.
Darn near, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
I guarantee
tricky.
you are a better pilot for that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
because that takes some skill. That's more kiting, more taxiing, more everything. So kudos to you, dude. I don't think I'd have the stamina, quite honestly, to launch at that altitude.
It took a lot of work. I lost 40 pounds just running back and forth across the sod farm, trying to learn how to do it. It's a lot easier now that I know how to do it, and I've got the technique dialed in a little bit better. But it's still a workout, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're ever in Arkansas, let me know. We can go out flying. Like I said, I got all the gear you need. So if you just come out here and you're like, oh, I don't have any gear, but I'm in Arkansas. Yo, Sean, you know my number.
I've got a question
Drive it.
about the elevation, because when you take off around here, generally you go up to about 3,500, and then you're supposed to really think about switching to MSL or sea level. And so how do you do that?
I just use AGL wherever I'm at. Because Pueblo, 40 minutes south of me, is at 5,000 feet. And my normal LZ that's 15 minutes from me is 7+. So I just track AGL.
And how long would it take you to go from 7,000 to 3,000 AGL?
I don't know. I don't think I've timed it. Maybe 15 minutes, maybe, but I don't know.
Because I know it takes a lot longer to get up. For me, anyway, I can get up to 6,000 within like half an hour. And that's like 5,000 feet. But that last 3,000 or 4,000 feet up there, that takes like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Way slower climb.
Yeah, I feel, again, I don't really have a point of reference because I always fly here. But I feel like I've got a good climb rate for the most part. I haven't noticed it slowing or lagging as I go higher, at least not yet.
Yeah,
I'll let you know when I aim for Pike's Peak.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't think you would really notice it in 3,000 because there wouldn't be much of a variation.
Yeah.
But if you were going well, if you were going to 17, you would notice it the last 3 going
Yeah.
up. But well, that's interesting. And when are you thinking of doing Pikes Peak?
Probably in the summer. Springtime is not good around here for mornings. You get thunderstorm every morning, and a lot of afternoons rolling off of the mountains. So springtime's not great. Summer is going to be when it's going to be warm enough to go that high, and you know, and the conditions should be right for it. Probably an afternoon flight, launch when it's a little bumpy and things are starting to calm down, and go from there.
That sounds cool. Sounds like fun.
Bonnie Sullivan Fran said, "What's the highest elevation everyone's flown?" I'm not sure if you're asking what elevation we've taken off at that's high, like over in Colorado, where it's 7,000 feet above sea level, or taking off and flying at a different altitude. I've only flown, I only did my mile, so 5,250-ish, whatever, I think whatever a mile is. I've flown that, and it was so cold. It was middle of summer. I mean, it was 110 degrees on the ground. I got to a mile, and I'm like shivering. I'm like, this is it. I'm not going to go any higher than that.
I think the Buena Vista fly-in that we did, we were launching right around 9,000.
Oh, you're launching at 9,000?
Mm.
That's interesting. Now, okay, so here's a question for you. So airspace starts at ground level and it follows the terrain, right? So if you're up at 9,000 feet MSL on the ground, that's 0 AGL. So you could go up to what, 18,000 feet from there, and you'd be actually 20, almost 30,000 feet above sea level. Is that right? Is that what I'm thinking?
No,
Or
well,
I
airspace,
don't-
it uses AGL parts when you're talking about Class E, Class G, and it goes up to 14,500. But the other airspaces like Class C, those are Class B, Class A. Those are MSL altitudes.
so A is above E, so and that starts at flight level 180.
180. Yeah.
So because A is starting at flight level 180, which is 18,000 feet, then MSL, then we still wouldn't be able to take off from a 7,000 foot and still go up 18,000 feet, because we would be in A altitude or A airspace.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah, that sounds
you
right.
could take off at 7,000 feet, and you could go up to 17,999 feet.
MSL,
MSL,
but not
Yes.
AGL.
no, not AGL.
Okay.
Correct.
So there is a limit, there is a ceiling at 18,000 feet, period, across all of the United States. No matter where you're taking off from, you still can only go up to 18,000 feet MSL.
Yep.
The highest I've launched from would be Mountain City. That's about 3,000 feet. And the highest AGL I've gone is 6,200 or so.
Okay. The highest I've launched was over at the Moonshiners Bull. And how high were we there? 4,000 or 5,000 feet, Will?
3,000 feet at Moonshiners.
Yeah, that sucked horribly. I can't imagine 6,000.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Highest I've flown above ground level where we are, and it's about 300 feet MSL. I flew up to a mile, which is 5,200 and something, whatever that is, AGL. So,
Well,
that's
you
why-
notice a big difference going from up 2,000 feet. Can you imagine him, David, going up 2,000 feet from 7,000,
no.
9,000,
Mm-mm.
and then trying to take off there? Because, jeepers, I
Well,
would think that it's even.
I guess I need to get myself a big tandem wing, so when I do go to Colorado and hang out with David Proctor or go over to Moonshiners again or what have you, I got a wing that can do something like that. Plus, I had full tanks. So I couldn't get off the ground at Moonshiners for the life of me, because I always fly over here with 5 gallons, and 5 gallons of gas is about 30 pounds. So I always do that because I wanted to be able to feel what it feels like to pack myself down, because I wanted to
It's this one.
do the Icarus.
Longer.
You got to go, David? Are you in trouble?
No, my battery is dying, and I'm trying to get my daughter to grab the right cable for me.
Oh, well, we can go. I know that we're already at an hour and 40 minutes of chatting. Oh, Walter said, how did they fly at Mount Everest? How
Oh,
did,
there's a whole documentary on that. And they had oxygen tanks with them. I think they had to have turbos, and they had a lot of different equipment in order to accomplish that.
I can't imagine climbing Mount Everest, or let alone flying around it. But I tell you what, we have that mountain over here, Pinnacle Mountain. I used to, walk up it and hike it all the time. It's only 1,000 feet MSL, and we're 300 feet, so it's about 700 feet tall from AGL. It's not that bad, but it takes a couple hours to climb. Now I just launched down there by it, go up and buzz around it. I'm like, hey, this is so much easier than hiking. So I do like flying because it's so much easier than hiking. Yeah, Shane said Mountain City was a pain to foot launch from. It was 50-50 for me, super hard. Yeah, I agree, dude. That was rough. My dogs even said, dude, that's rough. All right. So anyway, guys, any other questions for David before we go to our private chat?
No, I'll say it was a pleasure, David. Thanks for coming on the show, man. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was very
Thank you, David.
informative. Thank you.
Yeah, had a blast as always. David, you're more than welcome to be on the panel if you want to, every Monday night, 7
Yeah.
p.m. Join us
Fun.
here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central at ClearPropTV. You want to listen to us, go over to paratalk.org or search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast on your favorite podcasting app. We're also on Amazon Music, Audible. You can search for us on Amazon and our podcast comes up. We are everywhere. It's so awesome. So let's go ahead and say goodbye to everybody so we can go and jump on
Thanks,
the
everybody.
private podcast. So if you want to jump on the after show, you're more than welcome to. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to Jim from Canada A, the one that has the maple syrup smelling money, the one that's going to hook us up with the awesome ppgcalendar.com. Tell us a little about Care Printing and Publishing and how we can get our own personal stickers made by you with a code that you can get for 10% off.
Just give me a call, 306-946-4027. Extension, pick an extension. You'll get a hold of one of us and we'll help you out, get you some stickers. And the voting is on. It's finally working. Oh,
Awesome.
man, we've had nothing but troubles trying to get this vote to work. So now you don't have to register to vote for these calendars.
So how do we upload a picture for the calendar, and how do we vote on the calendars?
Well, you go to ppgcalendar.com and you can go to the voting page. You can't upload any pictures at the moment. That's pretty much, well, you could upload pictures, but they won't be included in this year's calendar.
Okay, and then come January, we're opening up the uploading for all of January, and then February, all month, we're going to vote, and then we're going to have new upload in next month, March, right? Upload in March, and then April we'll vote. So we'll do that for the next calendar, and maybe if Jim goes, holy smokes, we have hundreds and hundreds of pictures, let's go ahead and make different calendars every quarter. And if we do that, we probably need to do some pre-sales. Would you guys be up to pre-sales or pre-paying for a calendar? If you are, let us know in the super chat. Text me at 501-747-3558. Let me know, or just email me at ppggrandpa.com.
Okay.
Anything else, Jim?
That's everything.
All right, sounds awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do, Jim. You are official sponsor for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. We appreciate you. Will
Yeah.
Fly, I thought you were going to be gone, but you're still here. We always appreciate you hanging out with us, man.
Hanging out with you guys.
You guys, you're awesome. So Will Fly over at willflyppg.com, he has an amazing YouTube channel. Lots of really good information. His videos are incredible. Thousands of views each time that he uploads. He's the next Tucker Gott. Will Fly, tell us a little bit about your channel and how we get there and what this paramotortip.com thing that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks is going to be about.
Yeah, it's just as I fly, I've been flying for 3 years, and as I come up with little tips and tricks that have helped me out, I share them in a video format. Some corny humor along with some education. That's kind of my MO. But yeah, check it out, YouTube. Just search for Will Fly or go to willflyppg.com.
That's awesome. Yeah, Will Fly, you guys have always helped me out. So I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I would not be able to do this without you guys. Jim, with all the stuff that you do up there with your Care Printing and Publishing at Care PP, Will Fly, all the stuff that you do in the background that people don't see. I try to let people know all the stuff that you do. Go to willflyppg.com, subscribe to his YouTube channel, go to careppg.com, subscribe to Jim's. Go to Paramom USA and tell her how beautiful she looks with that cowboy hat.
That's it. There you go. There you go.
Linda, man, you
Know it.
rock. If it weren't for
Know
you,
it.
we wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have guests.
I'm saying she's booked us all the way up to almost what, January, February of next year?
Yeah, and I just booked somebody as we were, you guys are all chatting.
We're chatting and she's booking people. Okay, Paramount USA, Linda Anderson, you are amazing. David, who is that cute little person you have?
It is
with you?
cute.
This
Hi.
is Jacob. Say hi, Jacob.
Jacob,
Hi, Jacob. How are you,
Yeah,
handsome? Look at
You wanted to come down here?
I see you. You
Yeah.
are a cutie patootie. So thank you, David, very much. We definitely appreciate you. You are the bomb diggity dog. Absolutely.
Have
Please,
to dog. I like that.
bomb diggity dog. Please join us and be part of the panel every Monday night. You're more than welcome to, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you
David.
for having me.
Absolutely. Any words of wisdom or anything else before we head on out from any of the panel or our amazing guest?
No exposed skin when you're flying and it's under 20 degrees.
Unless you have some warm gloves and you're in a bikini, right?
yeah.
I guess that would be, I guess, thinking the only time that you have too much fuel is when you're on fire. Well,
I believe that's on Sean.
Hey,
Sean, that's on your bucket list.
That
That's
sounds
what it
sounds
is.
like
You're not
something
fooling us.
Confucius would say, when on fire, do not have gas on you or something like that. Oh my God. I
Good.
love Monday nights. And Jim up in Canada, he only blew what, 2 holes in his pistons? That's it, just 2?
yeah,
How many flights are you up to, bud?
still 175. I haven't got
Awesome.
it put back together yet.
175. Man, you better hurry up because David Proctor's kicking your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about the number of flights. It kind of seems that way when you're first starting out, but really it's about,
I
Just
can't
the-
wait for Jim to say, I don't know how many flights, but I got 300-hour maintenances under my belt.
I really don't think that's going to happen because up here, you have to keep track of your flight log. Well, you don't have
Oh.
to, but it's the same as general aviation. So you've got a pilot license you have to maintain, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I come from a pilot background, so I always log every single flight. Just my nature, I guess.
Well,
I had-
in order for us to maintain our license, we have to fly multiple times a year, and we have to meet certain qualifications in order to maintain our license.
Wow. That's interesting. I did not, once again, you'll learn something new every day. I did not know that. In Canada, DIYprinting.ca, where your money smells like maple syrup. On that note, I'm going to say farewell to everybody. You guys stay here. We're going to go to a short after show, just talking about things that we need to talk about privately.
Thanks, Chatter.
Only panel stuff. So you guys won't know about what we're talking about
No.
unless you join us. Ooh. So anyways, thank you very much, David Proctor, for being our guest tonight. Will Fly, thank you for everything you do in the background, including the spinning wheel winning things. Jim, thank you for everything you do over at Care Printing and Publishing. Linda, I don't know what I would do without you, since you have us booked, guest book until what, January, February, March already of next year. You guys, if you want to be on the show, or if you just want to be on the panel and you don't want to be a guest, that's fine too. Because I know that some people that don't want to be a guest, but they want to be on the panel. That's perfectly fine. Just get up with Linda Anderson.
Yep.
That's all for me. You can find me at ppggrandpa.com. Go to my main channel, which is iflyparamotors.com. And we are going to be posting a lot of props on ppgprops.com. And all of our props should be under $300, and that's with free shipping. They're not up there right now, but keep that in mind. Hopefully by next week, that will be up there. David Proctor, you're the man. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Have a great evening. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more, then click the subscribe button and you'll be notified when new ones come available.